My name is Doug Doyle, and I'm here because I was diagnosed with bile duct cancer about 3 months ago, and I had a referral from a friend of mine to Living Waters, and basically wanted to know what I was doing because I had no clue what I was doing. And we were able to sit down and talk about my situation, and I learned about the colonic bed and how important having your colon cleansed is to a good, healthy immune system, because I chose to fight this disease naturally rather than using chemo. And basically told my doctor that I wasn't going to do it that way. So that's why I'm here, and I thank the people here for helping me, guide me in a direction that I can feel, comfortable moving forward.
And so tell us a little bit about
kind of an emotional standpoint. It was kind of exciting, but at the same time kind of scary because I didn't know what to expect. I did come in and have two colonics previous to the 10-day. But the 10-day is a much more extensive program that deals with a wide variety of different approaches to healing. And so there was, for me, there was some apprehension, maybe a little bit of anxiety, but everybody here has been so kind and so nice. And there's some things that kind of came up in the course of the 10-day that I kind of buried emotionally and spiritually, and I appreciate the approach to that, because unresolved unforgiveness is not good for anybody. And I thought I had done all my work, but actually some more things came up for me. So that was kind of
cool. So that was a surprise to you.
That surprised me. Yes.
Yes, you actually still had that emotional. We talked a little bit about it.
Yes. Yeah, and it shows up in different ways in my character and my personality, and I couldn't figure out what was why I would be like upset because somebody was driving 5 miles under the speed limit on the 55 going towards McCall. I'm going, pull over to the side if you want to look at trees. I'm going home. So. Yeah, it manifests itself in different ways.
And of course, you learned that anger manifests in the liver, and
yes,
of course, your cancer is going on in the bile, so that was an interesting.
Well, but it did spread to the liver.
Yeah.
So, and it's closely associated. Actually, I think I looked up bile duct cancer, and it was actually, I think, lined up right with the liver as far as the anger issues and unresolved, issues with people, and so that was a surprise to me.
And Doug, it was quite a jump for you to jump, because you were in chemo, you have a port in,
mm-hmm.
you had done one treatment of cancer, or of chemo,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden someone says, hey, you got to consider this, and you did some research on your own, but all of a sudden you had to make you decided to make a different jump.
I jumped, it was a leap of faith.
A big leap of faith. Yeah. So just share with people how you went through that, because that's, big deal.
Okay, well basically, I just felt like I was, I won't mention the name of the hospital, but I felt as though I was being railroaded into traditional treatment, and the treatment that they had to offer me was basically nothing, because they said I would live 6 months if I didn't do the chemotherapy, and that I would live a year if I did the chemo. Well, that's not what anybody wants to hear. And so, I started looking at the possibility. I mean, at first, I actually bought totally into the traditional treatments. And when I was offered that kind of diagnosis and prognosis, I started looking at other things. And of course, I was praying to the Lord all the time, and I was praying, God heal me and that kind of thing. But I got to the point where it's like, okay, well, I can pray to the Lord, and He could heal me instantaneously. I mean, I really believe that. But I wanted to do something. It's me. It's my personality. I want to do something anyway, and I mean, how can I, not make it as easy as possible for that healing by changing my lifestyle and looking at, you know, what contributed to the problem to begin with. So that's what made my final decision. I talked to my family before I made that final decision, and I was supported by my brother and sister, and you know, like anything else, the hardest thing is telling family. So, you know, they're supportive of my approach, and I'm, you know, let's put it this way, I feel better than I did when I made that decision. Okay, so obviously something's happening because, you know, cancer is a degenerative disease. You should be feeling worse, you know. So I just refuse to even think about it, you know. I mean, the C word is no longer, you know, I have to keep reminding myself that the C word is no longer in my vocabulary. Yeah.
Complexion-wise, though, have you noticed the difference there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and actually, even before I came here, when I switched over to juicing and this other thing that I've been doing, which is basically a juicing type process, and I noticed it even then that you know, things were changing. But compared to, let's say, where I was a week ago, yeah, the skin tone is, you know, I mean, like the contrast in the skin are higher. I have a couple little marks here from the dog scratching me. And before, you could hardly tell the difference between those two things because the skin was just not, the pigmentation wasn't as, the contrast wasn't as great. So, yeah.
Well, you're not near the gray person that you were when you walked in.
Gray, I guess that'd be kind of a color.
Yeah.
You call it. I was really yellow, though. I was yellow man for 2 months. I had, for those of you who don't know what bile duct cancer is and what it does, it basically blocks the bile duct between the liver and the gallbladder and the pancreas, and blocks bile from being produced and going into the small intestine. And it creates a jaundice condition. Basically, you turn yellow, you know, your urine is amber and your poops are golden, and you itch everywhere. I mean, that was the worst part of the jaundice part. It just, it was almost unbearable. So that is one thing that the traditional, you know, medicines had to do.
Right.
So I have a couple stents in my bile duct right now, bypassing whatever instruction. We're not going to talk about it as the C word. It's whatever. In fact, I had like visions of me passing the stents through my small intestine and seeing it come out in the tube.
Of course, that did not happen.
No, it did not happen. No.
But you had some concerns about it, which is very fair.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a restricted area there, and when you do a liver cleanse, you know, there can be some big stones that try to pass their way through that area. Yeah. It's in the common biliary duct. Right. And which I couldn't even say that word before, biliary or bilirubin. I didn't even know what those things were. Right. I could care less. Right. You know, I was eating my, you know, good old fast-made Taipan rice and chicken with all its good ingredients that you can't pronounce. You know, it's funny because I'm reading all the freaking labels. You know, I mean, I've turned into this person that I never. Not that I, you know, judge people that way. I mean, you know, everybody can do what their own thing is. I'm just like, I'm that guy now. I'm in the organic food market looking at labels. You know, I was the guy that went to Winco and packed up on all the cheap stuff, right?
Winco to Whole Foods.
Winco to Whole Foods or the National Grocery.
So share with us, you smoke.
Yes.
And you were smoking, what, how much when you came in?
Normally what I was smoking before I got sick, I was smoking a pack and a half a day easily.
And you're down to now?
I'm down to like a quarter pack.
And you told me just a few minutes ago that you really
I didn't buy cigarettes last night, and I didn't buy them this morning. That's been an ongoing addiction for me since I was 14 years old. So don't start. Because it's a killer.
Tell people experience. First time you ever did a colonic was here.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, the first one was, of course you have a little bit of fear, a little bit of apprehension, what's this going to be like and that kind of thing. And a part of that was actually realized in a way, because I was so blocked up that I was in some pain.
In other words, when you say blocked up, you had constipation.
I was blocked. I was, and so it took it took that first time to kind of just like soften things up a little bit, right? And then it took the second time to get it, where we were getting past some of the obstructions there, whether it be a spastic colon or whatever, was causing the obstruction. But yeah, initially it was pretty painful. But
and your bowel movements were what, one every 2 days?
Actually, normal bowel movements for me has been once a day in the mornings usually. And since I've been I don't want to say sick, but since I've been in the condition I've been in, it's like once every other day.
Right.
I'm hoping that'll change, but
what was your favorite tool to use here?
well, I'd have to say the colonic bed, because I know what it's doing. The biomat, feels good. I'd say the colonic bed because it's some definitive results.
Well, and what you learned, of course, was that constipation is building a toxic
Yes.
system as well.
I want to do everything I can to boost my immune system.
Right.
And if there's toxicity anywhere, then it's working on those things rather than the things you wanted to work on. I've had to work hard on the emotional side of it. That was another surprise to me. It was going through the books here. Not exactly my point of view as far as the spiritual aspects of it, but some really good points. And if you can just not be so uptight about maybe the differences in our spiritual perspectives, because basically they're good people here and they want to see you get better, and it doesn't matter because they're good people, and that's all that matters. Thank you, Living Waters.